What is up, everybody? Today we're doing a tier list for Operation Brutal Swarm. So we're gonna be talking about the new op, the new recoil, and which operators is good. So yeah, we're gonna go. So Grim is not currently on this list, so what I'm gonna do, this is going to represent Grim, this recruit right here. We're gonna do Grim first. Currently right now, where I put Grim, I put him at C tier. Why C tier? Grim's ability is honestly fairly mediocre. If you know an enemy is in a certain location, why not use a grenade or other type of utility to clear them out? You do get 5, so there's a lot of burn with that, but his guns, I mean, guns aren't bad, but only has access to 1X's, so you have breach and claymores. I mean, honestly, you are relying on another, because you can't swing an enemy while using your Bs, so like you're really reliant on another teammate to help you. And there's a lot of other operators that can do kind of the same job as Grim. So I think currently, from what I've seen and how I've played Grim, currently C tier. There are opportunities where Grim is going to be useful, like when I'm pushing Cafe, like Pixel, I will use Grim occasionally because I get the claymores. I can shoot Bs at the Pixel corner, and it gives me like 10-second window to swing it. All right, that was the only op we're going to talk about, not much in depth. So Ace, definitely an A tier. Gun is amazing. Honestly, deadass, I'm gonna put Ace at S tier. Best hard breacher as a fragger. Like it's not an amazing hard breacher, but it is a really good gun, and honestly, you don't even feel like you're playing a hard breach. This is just a really good operator to have, especially if you do rock solo. Like, it's just an amazing op. Alibi, A tier. Alibi is very strong. The only downside to Alibi, honestly, I can't think of one. Just lack of her ability by itself is just meh. Yeah, Ace doesn't get the AK-15. Alibi's recoil was honestly lowered on the new season, so honestly, really strong op now. She was already really strong. She's still really strong. Low key, honestly, I'm place her in S tier. I'm gonna place her in S tier. I'm gonna go place on where I see people using her. She's going 1.5. She's going S tier. Emerald, B tier. Same as before, no real change. I mean, good gun, decent utility. You have flashbangs, and the occasional situational, like the slam. And I mean, that's why it's B tier instead of higher. Like, situationally, sometimes she is extremely strong. They'll get that map control really fast, but there's not that many opportunities to really get the full effectiveness of the Amaru. Yeah, they're lowering the recoil, not on console, on PC though. Yes. Yeah, got even easier to use. Rooney, definitely B tier. Able to stop some grenades, slow them down, has access to a defender DMR. Honestly, could potentially be a little bit higher, but you will only have access to a bulletproof and barb, so it is going to be a little, won't quite be that A tier for impacts or nitros, but definitely a strong operator, and situationally will be very strong. The punch is nice. I mean, the reason why that she's B tier instead of C tier is the fact that she can help make rotates in line of sight, so she does have a little bit of utility. Low key, I might place Aruni at the bottom of A tier. So I'm gonna say she's A tier just because, like, rotates, the gun is really great. Like, the lowest part of A tier. Like, that's the bottom. Ash is making a little bit of a comeback, honestly. I believe this season. With the grenade nerf, honestly, I felt the grenade nerf. I threw a grenade practically at somebody and they had 100 health. Grenade nerf, the radius is going to be a lot lower for enemies who do take damage, so Ash is honestly going to get a little bit more playtime. The G36, I don't mean the R4C, I mean the G36C with the 1.5. It is honestly a fairly good gun, and her ability to just, you know, destroy that utility is just great. I mean, soft destruction. I mean, you have soft destruction on deck, but she's more like if you're going to play a little bit of vert or play the horizontal, so a little bit more situational. Like, but occasionally you're going to see the Nash running around. Azami S tier, don't even think about it. Azami is broken almost on almost every single map that I can think of, just forcing you to have to rearrange how you attack a certain site just because of an Azami's on the board. It's just massively annoying to have it playing against an Azami. So definitely S tier. Everyone, Mexi. Guys, this is going to be on the YouTube, so make sure to hit up the YouTube. Bing. All right, Bandit, C tier. Bandit situationally gonna be good, but all the time, not quite. Very situational. Sometimes you'll get a bandit trick off, sometimes you won't. Like, it's just very seldom going to be seen or done. I just don't see it being higher than C tier. Blackbeard, we have the first D tier operator. Occasionally you will see a Blackbeard, and sometimes they'll play well. But Blackbeard as a whole is just not a good op, honestly. Maybe I'll move Blackbeard up to C tier because I've seen some people do some work as Blackbeard. And on a, I don't know. I think C tier is generous, but Blackbeard is just kind of butt. Blackbeard just overall is kind of a butt operator. Blitz, B tier. Blitz, there always going to be an occasion, very situational, that Blitz is going to be used, but when he's used, god damn it, you're going to feel that impact. So Blitz, extremely strong at times, other times, not overly strong. Same thing with Montaigne. Montaigne kind of right there with Blitz. Montaigne going to be used in different situations, honestly, than the Blitz. The Blitz is going to be more for the rushing. Montaigne is going to be used more for like pressure. Like what? Like Blitz is more like for an Oregon elbow rush. Montaigne more for a Raptors walk up. So, Lion. Lion is going to be going straight to the A tier. Easy. EMP impacts. Basically, think of Lion as like a Thatcher. And the ability to slow people down, like when you guys go for a move, you do that Lion call, and everybody basically has to, Simon says stop. Like you can't run around, or you get spotted and just get cleaned up by any other attacker that's even anywhere in the vicinity. That you're gonna see Lion picked a lot with a hard breach pick because he will have those EMP impacts. Speed of which, Osa, another A tier, will also have EMP impacts. So when you're bringing EMP impacts, most of the time you are going to be rocking one of these two ops, as well as Doke. Doke also has EMP impacts. I mean, Osa has a shield, so really good paired with a hard breacher. Great. Lion, I mean, you do the EMP impacts, and you don't necessarily have to play a breach. You can kind of run around and do your thing. So those two are great as pickups for helping a breacher open a wall. Doke is a little bit more interesting. I mean, Doke, I want to place her like low A tier, maybe high B tier. I think that she's more situation. Yeah, she's a little bit more must pick than these ops. So I'm definitely gonna place her near the A tier. Low key, I might have to skew the ops down a little bit soon, but it's because there are other ops that are going to be in this tier soon. Dope, great op, good roam clear. I mean, guns are okay. I mean, guns aren't great, but they're okay. Decent util. Nothing really bad to say about Dope. Great for the roam clear. Buck, A tier. A Buck has a lot, as in you got that Gone 6 buff. So, I mean, Buck has a Gone 6 for a little bit of utility destruction. Has the soft breach on Bleak. Has a hard breach charge. Basically, think of Buck as a Swiss Army knife now. He can basically do whatever you need him to do. Whatever you need done, you get it done. Yep, Buck has a Gun 6. Capital, I haven't played too much Capital, but I assume that he is going to be more in the C tier again, like just very situational. Sometimes there'll be a use, but like as before, like Garage Rafters, pairing with a smoke operator could be useful, but currently I don't see Capital really standing out too much, especially with the LMG nerf, because the LMGs are a lot harder to shoot. Yeah, with the LMG buff, maybe you'd be a little bit more of a B tier, but those LMGs aren't as good as they were before, so that's not going to carry him this time. Probably something to see. Capital is good against Clash. I would argue that. What an operator is better against Clash if I can find her. Callie, deadass, probably a B tier. Callie is honestly really strong. Like, that gun is not a joke. If you put a gunner on that sniper rifle, holy crap, like they are going to be dropping kills. Just a slight little peek, boom, downed. And being able to just open up whatever wall you want, no problem, not an issue. Or destroy a shield, no problem, not an issue. And Clash's shield just gets knocked back every shot. So, but Callie A, not quite. Callie isn't that useful. Callie is more of a situational pick that is useful sometimes, but not all the time. A with the buff. Well, what was the buff on Callie? Castle. We'll come back to Callie. Castle, B tier. Situationally, really strong on some sides, but not strong all the time. Great. For gunfire rate, made the gun stronger. Yeah, she's an A tier then. If they made that sniper stronger, the sniper was already strong. Making that sniper stronger is just ridiculous. If you put a gun on that, like, you are a little Overwatch, and you just will win every firefight you get into. It is so hard to peek a Callie because if they miss, if they don't miss, you die every time. So Callie, I'll put it A tier. Why not? I've seen Kino on Cali playing against him, and honestly, that is just a pain. That sometimes when we play Kino, we ban the Cali. So, all right. So Castle, very situational. Nothing really too strong. In certain situations, like it is nice to be able to close off those doors and window frames, so you don't have to really worry about people like Capital. She's fire defeat and brings her down fast. No, Capital is one of the. I don't think Capital counters Clash in practically any situation. Why Bandit C? Bandit is situationally, most of the time, is not going to be used. And when he is used, he's only used against a wall. The second the wall gets open, now Bandit's doing nothing. So, I just don't see Bandit being super useful in a coordinated stack. Like, it's okay to bring sometimes, but yeah. What about Cade? Cade, A tier. Because this is the argument to Bandit. Cade is a better Bandit in every single way. The guns are just as good, honestly. Well, downside is it is a 3 armor, but his ability is easier to use. You can just throw it, boom. You can also get hatches. You can do whatever Bandit does, but better. So, one reason why you pick a Bandit is if you specifically want a Bandit trick, the wall. And there's not that many situations where you're going to physically do that. EMP nades against Cade? That's a good question. EMP nades against Bandit or Mutes? They're always on the floor, but for Cade, you have to drone out where the Cade is because you can miss the Cade claw. You can miss the Cade claw with those EMP grenades. You have to physically know exactly where it's at because it is a very tiny radius. You have to really make sure that you're hitting the EMP on that Cade claw because you can miss, and it is very easy to miss. I've seen pros miss. You have to drone out where the Cade claw is, and if Cade's actively trying to trick that, I mean, it's really hard to get around the Cade. After EMP, Cade is mad nerfed. He lost 1-5. Yes, it was definitely a definite S tier. Now he's an A tier. Like he's still very strong, but not as strong as before. Cabrera, C tier. Occasionally might be a strong pick, but most of the time not going to be a great pick. Can be better in lower elos specifically. Really depends on how you play as the Caveira. That's why I'm going to place her at C, because there are times where you can run a Cav and it actually won't be bad. Most of the time it's going to involve when there's a Jackal running around. So Jackal, go for that beads here. Very good for the roam clear. I'm gonna put him at A because I put Doke at A. So like I'm gonna place him right next to Doke. Good for the roam clear. Great. Nothing really bad to say about Jackal. Great guns. To me, his gun was buffed to C7 as a 1.5 instead of a 2x, and honestly, I love that. It is amazing, especially like close range, long range, doesn't matter. So great gun. Nothing really bad to say about Jackal. I mean, he is literally there to help clear the roam. You have a Jackal and a Doke, and you're not being able to roam clear. You guys are dropping the ball somehow. Cav is BF tier? No, because Cav can be useful. Let's say Bank. And you guys are relying on a Jackal for the roam clear. Cav can be strong. Like a bigger map, and you're relying on the Jackal for the roam clear. Cav can be a playmaker. She can be. Not all the time, but sometimes. Clash, C tier. Clash can be strong as well, but most of the time she's going to be very minimalistic or very situational. Guns are very bad. Obviously, the guns are horrible. So you're really relying on that shield to really do basically just hold them back or pressure them out, and having played around your teammates to really help secure whatever you're trying to do. Doc is going to be the first D tier operator. Why is Doc D tier? Doc can be strong, but I really just believe that if you're picking Doc, you're picking him for the self heals. In fact, I'm gonna place Doc at the bottom of C tier because I just see people picking Doc only as I want to run around and shoot people in the head, and sometimes it'll be okay, but Doc situationally doesn't really bring much to the table besides a couple heals, which Thunderbird does a lot better. Thunderbird, A tier. Thunderbird just has a crazy kit, way better than Doc's. Gun, primary weapon, secondary weapon, and a nitro. Doc has barbed wire or bulletproof, which all other operators have access to, and an MP5. It's Thunderbird's just a better Doc. That's why Doc's so low. Echo is going to be at a B tier. Very situational op, and not super situational, but he can be really strong depending on the person using this operator. Like if you're playing it for the intel game instead of the denial, Playing less for the denial, like keep them back kind of a vibe, and playing more for the intel gathering aspect of Echo. Very strong operator when used correctly. Alibi S tier, yes, Alibi is normally a very strong fragging op. She brings a lot of utility. She can make rotates, you do whatever you need to do with that. The weakness of Alibi is the fact that her gadget itself is kind of mediocre, but if you use her gadget correctly, like on the roam, sometimes you can bait out an attacker and usually get a freebie off of it sometimes. Shield and rotate making, so you're basically playing like a smoke, but you can go run around and play aggressive. Ella, I'm placing Ella at the C tier. I think that Ella's recoil was buffed slightly, but I just don't see Ella really getting that much playtime. Very situational, sometimes might work, but a lot of times isn't going to be the play. Very sometimes. All right, little Elo friends like Castle, one of the zombie don't get it. Castle isn't bad. Castle isn't bad, but very situational. You don't want to pick Castle too much. A zombie is good almost all the time. Like, if you have a zombie, it's fine. Doesn't matter what map. Doesn't matter what site. A zombie's good. That's S tier. No matter what site it is, good op to pick. Zero. I'm gonna be honest. First D tier pick. First D tier. I think that there is a better solution to all problems in the game other than Zero. Zero can be used sometimes. You'll see him used occasionally, but I think that he doesn't bring a better solution than any other operator on the field. And his ability is basically just what drones do. Like, if you're smart with your drones, you already have the drones. So you got everything good? No, really. Like, he has a Harbor's Guide, with a lot of other ops have, so that's nothing really that special. Like, I think Buck does it better. Ying, you know, other ops. He has cameras, which every operator has drones. So, and I believe he has a Gon 6. That's not bad, but there are other operators with a Gon 6. I just think that his gadget is very meh. His gadget's not amazing. They get shot. They're really easy to find. Drones work just as well. So his gadget's worthless in my eyes. And so you have a Gon 6 and hard breach charges. I mean, it's not. I just think that there's a better solution on every other operator. That's why you don't see Zero very much. There's just better solutions. You can shoot K-Claws and other stuff with Zero Chems. Same with Twitch. You can do it with Twitch stunts. I just think his gadget is just mediocre. Like, there's always a better solution than a Zero. That's why he's played so low. Finka, this is a hot and heavy one. Finka. Finka used to be an instant S tier, but now she's C tier. In my eyes, at least. Every FPL game I played so far, guess what? Not one person's ran Finka. You know why? Finka sucks. That LMG is awful now. That was just the only reason why Finka was that strong. And now the spear, that spear with the 1.5, honestly, it bounced a little bit. It's not a great gun, and fire rate and damage is not great either. Like, you're really picking Finka for the heals and the grenades. Oh wait, you don't get grenades anymore either. So you have flashbangs. You have flashbangs and a spear with a 1.5. It's just, and heals. I mean, you're like picking Doc. Like, it's just you just. I feel like she got overnerfed a little bit. The healing is good, but is it better than bringing, let's say, grenades, actual utility? I don't know, brother. I just don't know. I do know, like, yes, it's bringing better utility. Like, I'd rather have like actual utility, especially with EMP impacts. It does force like the Lion pick, the Doke pick, the Osa picks a little bit more often. She still has a 2x. Yeah, she might still have the 2x, but it's a spear. You're gonna have to run the spear. You can run the LMG, but it's a very hard gun to use correctly. Like, it's not great. I think that she is safe for the C tier. She can be used occasionally, but you're not gonna see her picked all the time. They took grenades and they basically nerfed LMGs into the dirt. Now let's talk Zofia, who also has an LMG. This is good for a different reason. All right, bear with me. Zofia is an S tier now. This is my tier list, so you can fight me all you want. But Zof is an S tier. You have impact grenades. You have 2 impact grenades. You have 2 concussion. Those were always good. That was never an argument, right? You have breaching charges or claymores. So those are whatever. Like those are kind of, but sometimes the breaching charges are nice to have, and as well as the claymores. And her gun was buffed. Her AR is pretty good. Her AR is very strong. Her LMG is dog shit, so we're not even talking about her LMG. LMG is awful, so that was another reason why she was so high up before. But now her AR is great, as a 1.5, and honestly, damage to fire rate, like it's not a joke. It's 45 and like I think like high 700s, low 800 fire rates. So yeah, this is Grim. This is the placeholder for Grim. Yeah, he's down there by himself. Don't worry, I'm gonna have him join by Tachanka. Do I need to explain Tachanka? Just everything Smoke does except a worse variation of it. In a very comp simulated setting, you have a very specific strat, you can make it work, but you have to play around the entire Tachanka. And most of the time, you're not going to be doing that. Like, it's just, Tachanka's just bad. Like, he's just bad. It's me, the Lord, but he's just bad. Sorry. Like, I hate to break it to you. You have a charm? Not yet. One day, baby. Let's have another operator join little zero. We're going to have Sens. Do I need to explain why? I'm going to take a strong stance on this. People have tried to argue that Sens is good, but I'm gonna make a strong argument on why Sens is not good. You can impact and nitro the smoke grenades. You can impact and nitro the smokes. What does that entail? Like, you throw the smokes, you think, oh, we're safe, we're good. I can impact the smokes and instantly kill you. People forget that. Like, Capitals, smokes stand. Normal smoke grenades stand. But these smokes, you can destroy and catch people off guard. The guns are dog. Guns are not good. I believe I think you get a Gon 6. I mean, you basically get you're like a Swiss Army knife of everything, but you do nothing well, which is good. But like, I'd rather have a specialized op for a very specific reason that does it very well, personally, because you have five ops on a team, so you can choose someone that's good at everything instead of picking one that does everything. Could be picked, but you're picking it Sens purely because you want to. You're playing more solo and you need to do the job of multiple people. That's not what I want to plan this tier list around. Guys, this is going to go to the YouTube. If you miss an operator in the explanation, go to the YouTube. You want to like the least? No chime, ISO. That's just how it is. What's up, baby? Goyo? Let's talk Goyo. Beats here. Ability is. He plays Goyo at A tier actually. Not going to be higher than A. Very decent gadget. I mean, the gadget's okay for slowing people down. Like, it's not bad for that. And you have Nitro. It does get a 1.5. 1.5 is a little hard to use. Like, people think that 1.5 is broken, but that is not an easy 1.5 to use. That thing, it's like, but a 1.5 on that vector, if you can learn how to use that, oh my god, it's gonna be crazy. But I do think that Alibi is placed over the Goyo, because with the Alibi, I can make the site, like, I can make the site how we will, but with the Goyo, we still need like a smoke player. We still need something to open up everything else. So I think Goyo still doesn't do it all, but it's very strong. A tier. I think A tier is fine. Flores, don't even need to think about it. A tier. A tier. No, A tier, because Flores gets countered very easily. Flores gets countered very easily by Mute, and Mute is picked quite often for drones. So, but ability is great. Ability is great. But when you are countered, it makes you like a D tier op. Like, if there's a Mute, you're instantly D tier. Like, it does suck when there's things that counter you. So strong, but very situational occasionally, but very strong. Frost, this is gonna be a hot take, and I'm not sure if you guys are gonna like this, but deadass, I'm just gonna go with my gut on how I feel about these operators. Frost, yeah, I put Frost at S tier. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Do a shotgun for setting up the site. Basically, think Alibi. You have everything that Alibi has. You set up the site, you have a shield, and you have a 1.5 on that gun, and that thing shoots. That gun is nuts with the 1.5. That gun is crazy with that 1.5. Like, I'm sorry, like that is, you put a shooter on Frost and you are slamming the entire enemy team. And you have Frost traps, so like unlike Alibi, your utility is actually strong. Like you snipe somebody with that Frostbat, boom, that's a kill. Bang. It's great. Great, amazing gun with that 1.5. Like it's just nuts. If you could ever run a Frost, like that Frost is, anyone that you put anyone on Frost, they are instantly a better player. I guarantee you. Watch this season. You'll see what I mean. Fuse beats here. Situational. I could see him being good. AK is great. I mean, you still have the AK, so you know LMG is obviously ass, but still have the AK. Situationally could be used in hard bridge guys. You know, nothing bad about Fuse. Nothing great about Fuse though. Yeah, she also has a vert. Yep, she also has a vertical grip. Crazy. I'm not really talking in perspective of suppressors or like attachments right now. I'm talking more about as a whole, based on how I played as them or how someone I've seen play as them. A lot of us, we're not running suppressors, so some of these ops may go up or down depending if you run a suppressor. The suppressors, honestly, they change on PC specifically. Console, you guys aren't going to get this as much, so honestly, you're probably gonna go a little bit more nuts with the suppressors than the PC players. But it does nerf the guns quite a bit using the suppressor because you recoil like crazy. I put a suppressor, let's say a buck DMR, and it was all over the place, horizontal, left, right, up, down. Like it was just nuts. Like honestly, most of the time, I'm not going to personally be running a suppressor unless I plan on doing like some type of sneaky entry. Like let's say I go Ayana and go crouch walking around, or Ashley go crouch walking around, and I break a suppressor purely because I know I'm gonna try to get the jump on people before, you know. But if I'm like mostly with the main push, I'm not really gonna break a suppressor because I'd rather my shots hit true, you know. Speaking of which, Ayana. Even though they nerfed Ayana, she's still S tier. She's still S tier. Even though they nerfed her. They didn't nerf her that hard. She also gone 6, but I'm gonna be like, bro, like, who uses the Gone 6 as Ayana anyways? Like, I had a Gone 6, but like most of the time, like, I probably use my Gone 6 probably 20 times ever. Like, you have so much utility, like, you don't need the Gone 6. Who cares? Now, I mean, whatever. I mean, you got the G36C with the 1.5 if you don't like that AR. The AR was nerfed. It lost its 1.5. It has a 1X. That's why I've been running 4.3 red dot. So the AR is still really good, but you only have access to a 1X. Or you run the G36C, which does not have any recoil whatsoever at all. So if you want to run around with a suppressor with this, honestly, you can get away with it. I like it being a laser beam though, so you can just pop heads. Not bad. Last, I'm gonna be last beats here. And just, you're forced to having to use that sniper. Sometimes it's good when you're playing around that, but you're forced to having to use a sniper, and you have grenades. So Glass, I think, sits very safely at B tier. I thought about putting him in A tier, but I just can't do it. I can't put Glass at A tier. I'm not gonna hear the end of it. Ion's good, but S tier? Yes, Ion's S tier. There's not that many operators in Rainbow Six now that have grenades. There's literally 4. There's Glass. That's kind of a weird pick. And then you have 3. So Glass is like, you know, you're not really playing like a grenade underneath op as Glass, right? There's 3 operators that have grenades, minus Glass. You have Nook, Sledge, and Ayana. And guess what? Buttercup. They're all S tier. They're all S tier. No way Kali's better than Glass. In terms of raw weaponry killing power, yes, Kali is better than Glass. Glass is better because of the fact that he has grenades, but Kali's gun in itself is better. I will fight that all day. And Kali can clear shields. Glass will struggle a little bit more. You have to use your grenades to clear the shield. Kali can just shoot the gadget at it. Boom, shield's gone. Or you can clear the wall. Boom, wall's free. Go. Like, Kali is just great. Kali is thinking more in the higher end comp scene. You put a gunner on Kali, they are ripping you apart. Glass is a very, if we're playing a very certain way, we're playing around a push, like we're going for like a smoke plant, Glass is great. Glass is amazing. That's why B tier isn't necessarily bad ops. It's just more situational than you would normally use. Like, you're not going to use Glass a lot. Callie, you can get away using her, you know, a little more often. And when she is used, she tends to be strong. That's why she's higher. So let's talk about the grenade trio. Iona, infinite drones, decent weapons. You're going to put a fragger on Iona and they're going to excel. Nook. I mean, you put a suppressor on Nook and you are literally a sneaky little bandit. Like, you are a ninja. Like, this, you never, no one's gonna ever hear you coming. Like, Nook is great just to play around a defender's like defense and just work an opening. Like, this is why in FPL specifically that Nook is banned so often, because if you put anyone decent on Nook and they find that opening, three of you are already dead and you didn't even know it, where they came in from. All shot on the side of the head or the back. Nook is great. And you have grenades. Sledge, I mean, great, but for different reasons. You also have grenades, but you have soft destruction on deck, decent guns. I mean, if you're working vert down, honestly, you pick Sledge anyways. I mean, Sledge is just amazing. Sledge is definitely S tier. You could try to find me on Iona being S tier. Iona is at the bottom of this S tier, but Iona's still up in S tier because looking at A tier, she definitely excels better than most of those operators I put. So do we want to fight over Glads and Callie? Because I can do that a little bit more. I mean, Glads is good in smokes, but if you know there's a smoke, I mean, let's say that if they are smart, they're gonna bring a warden. They just counter you, like you're countered instantly. So the smokes is your ally. So let's you know, situational. I mean, you might be able to get away with it once or twice. But you have grenades, so you have grenades. Grenades are strong. That's why, you know. If it wasn't for grenades, honestly, Glaz would probably be at the C tier because he's very, very situational. But with grenades, you go up a little notch. But there are other operators with grenades. It doesn't just carry you to the top. To the top. The gun itself is honestly butt. The gun is butt. Like, the gun is not good. Callius puts you down. The second you see her, boom, you're down or dead. Glaz, I can get away with taking a couple shots. Glaz, wait, you just say Warden D tier? No way. No way. Warden's kit. Let's talk about Warden's kit. Because this is an overall tier list. We're going to do attack and defense separately at some other point. But this is all operators. All right. Warden. Warden is a B tier. I'm not moving him up or down. I will defend it. That MPX with a 1-5, you put a gunner on this op, they are just dumpstering an entire team. And you know there's a warden, all your Ying plays, all your smoke plays, all that stuff is instantly countered. You cannot do any of that stuff with the warden because the warden is going to rip off the first person's head and then it's all negated. I'm talking not just like gold level rank, I'm not talking plat level rank, I'm talking like high elo. Like, warden is strong. If you know they're going to bring anything sus, you have a warden, it's all negated. Don't have to worry about it. Recruit over Sam Fisher. This is Grim. It's not recruit. Sens is OP with Glass and low elo. Well, not necessarily Sens. I think Sens is dog because smoke grenades work better. So I think smoke grenades work better than Sens's gadget overall. Like, let me make an argument. Ying and Sens. I would rather have a Ying because Ying's Candelas and has smokes. Sens only has smokes. And has a Harbor's gadget, so does Ying. I mean, I think Ying is better than Sens. Or Os is better than Sens. There's just so many other options over Sens that they just make more sense. Alright, Ying. I'm gonna put Ying at the Ying is gonna be at the B tier. Very strong when used correctly. Very easy to see coming. More situational, going for more of an aggressive like take. Like, you know, it's not gonna work all the time, but will work fairly often. I don't see Ying being an A tier. Like, these ops just bring more to the table in my eyes all the time. More on par with these ops, probably near the top of this, but these aren't necessarily in order, so it doesn't really matter. But Warden, yeah, Warden can counter literally any op that tries to go for some crazy weird rush play. Warden counters everything. Like, Warden counters Ying, Warden counters Sense, Warden counters all smokes, Warden counters, like, you know, so much. So, Cav over zero? Yes, Cav over zero, 100%. If an attack team is relying a lot on the Jackal roam clear with drones, Caveira, if you're smart about how you play your Cav, Cav can do some damage. Go for retakes, or just go off and hide. People drop the ball. Like, you can get away with some crazy stuff. Zero is just bad because his gadget is just drones. Like, you have drones already. You start with 10 drones. Just because you have 14 that doesn't mean that he's great now. Like, Gridlock. Gridlock C tier. I mean, she doesn't bring much that other ops aren't going to bring, but does do the flank watch decently well. But I mean, when I think Gridlock, I compare it to Nomad, and Nomad's just better, bro. Nomad's A tier, if not S. I'm gonna place Nomad at A tier though. Nomad is just amazing. Like, given Nomad, they're never flanking, and Nomad did get buffed. People forget this, but Nomad got buffed like crazy this season. She has a 1.5 on her ARX and a vertical grip. So basically, think Ayana's old gun. Now Nomad has that. Maybe like 2x. You still have access to the 2x, but she also has a vertical grip. She didn't have a vertical grip before, so now she does. I think vertical grip or an angled. I mean, you can run whatever you want, but we all know the answer to that. How Zero gets more pro play than half that list for a reason? Well, Zero's not bad if you have literally a professional roster playing with you, playing pro level siege every single round. It's an intel gathering game. If you have more cameras, you tend to do better. But Zero for most of the time is going to be kind of dog, because Zero just doesn't bring much other than cameras. Drones can do that just as good as the cameras that Zero brings, but when you're playing with like a pro roster, And then let's talk Valk. Valk, A tier. Not S tier, not S tier, A tier. But very annoying when having to deal with a Valkyrie. That's why she's banned a lot, especially in like ranks, because it is annoying to deal with. But it's not that easy to counter Valkyrie. Castle has to be in B tier. Castle should be in B tier. Castle isn't B tier. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Valk, A tier. Valk definitely A tier. I mean, defensive cameras that you can hide around the map, go for nitros, go for crazy stuff. Like, it's just great. Oh, you want Castle A tier? No way, no chance. Castle is too situational. It's not used that often. These ops are used a lot more often and a lot more useful. Castle's just not that useful on every single map on every single site. Jaeger A tier? Wrong. No. We'll talk about that in a second. Valkyrie, A tier. Great gun. Nitro. Intel on defense. Intel on defense is a little bit more rare, so that definitely has a little bit of a boon. Jaeger, well, we're talking about this. Why are they S tier? I mean, do you like getting grenaded? Personally, I don't like getting things thrown at me. I don't like getting blown up. Personally, Jaeger and Wamai are great for that. They have decent guns. They both have ARs. I mean, their backup utility is kind of. I mean, Wamai impacts. Jaeger, you have bulletproof or barb, so that's kind of. But Jaeger's utility is probably arguably better than Wamai's, because the ADS is reset, so potentially have infinite number of uses. And you know that when they start burning your ADSs, they have to continue to burn, or they're going to let the ADS come back. So you know that at the exact moment they're going to have a utility in their hand. You can swing them in that exact moment. You know that you are safe to swing them and potentially get a free kill. Wamai's a little bit less so, but Wamai, I would argue, does have a better gun option. Did get nerfed, lost the 1.5 on the MP5, so the MP5 is a little bit but you still have access to the AUG, and that AUG is no joke. That AUG is great. Both instant S tiers in my eyes. Hibana? Oh yeah, Hibana is definitely S tier. Do I need to talk about that? I mean, Hatch King, Queen, whatever. Decent utility. You have flashbangs. I mean, good gun. Instead of you have access to a lot of different things on that gun. I mean, decent secondary. Hibana is instant S tier. Like, don't even think about it. Smoke. Yeah, smoke's S tier. I was thinking maybe A tier, but no, smoke's S tier. 0 on D tier? Yeah, 0 on D tier. This is going to the YouTube, guys, so hey, hit up the YouTube. Bing. Smoke S tier? Yeah, smoke S tier. I mean, site architect, you can do it all. Like, you plant an eye, you have good gun, like, you just have everything going for you. IQ. B tier. Yeah, B tier. Used only for very specific situations, but very strong in those situations that will save your team. Like, I don't see IQ being any higher than that. Definitely not higher than B tier, not at all. And I will fight you guys tooth and nail about that. But definitely not higher than B tier. Low-key could be lower. You could convince me that she is C tier, but I'm gonna place her B tier because she is fairly solid, decent weaponry. But you are picking her mostly for a very specific reason, to counter a defender's something or other. You're countering something specifically. Thunderbird not being on S is what? Thunderbird's not an S tier. Why is Thunderbird an S tier? First of all, her gun got nerfed, so her gun got nerfed pretty bad. And you don't necessarily need heals. You don't need heals. That infers that you already are fighting people. Other ops are a little bit stronger because they bring a little bit more to the table. I can go through every single defender in S tier and tell you why they're S tier. Thunderbird, Thunderbird is good. It is a Swiss Army knife of death, but it's just not as good as the other ops. Just not. Alibi, better. Way better gun for ripping people's heads off. Can set up the site and has a shield. Azami, I don't even talk about Azami. Definitely way better. Ross, amazing gun, 1.5. Shield, traps to slow people down. Thunderbird, decent gun, nitro, and heals. I mean, these two aren't even comparable. Same with, I mean, the ops of Header just are more site setup. Like, they can set up the site and also kill. Thunderbird can't set up the site at all. Not even slightly. Not with at all. If she had a secondary shotgun, then yes, we're talking S tier. 100%, we're talking S tier. If she had a secondary shotgun or something, or bailiff or whatever, then she's an S tier. But she just can't set up the site at all. You're literally reinforcing and running away. Pulse, A tier. I agree. Pulse is A tier with 1.5 on the UMP with a vertical grip. Woo-wee! That thing slaps. You can put a suppressor on that. Does not matter. It's still really good. Low-key, Pulse is one of those ops that you can probably run a defender, a suppressor, and probably get away with it, and it's completely fine. This is the op. If you're gonna run a suppressor, run a suppressor on this, because maybe you go for some floor bangs with UMP too. I mean, you never know. Pulse is easy to counter if the attackers do go underneath, but you are going to force people to have to come underneath to deal with you. So you are forcing the attackers to respond to a Pulse being on the board, and you have a decent gun. You can rip them apart. So Pulse is solid, and Nitro, obviously, you know. Capkin, A tier. Capkin is a whirlwind of death, and the traps, if you get just even like one kill with these Capkin traps, it's just nice. You put them all over the place and have your roamers run around the Capkin traps. It's really hard to engage roamers knowing that if you walk through a door, you could potentially walk into a Capkin trap and die. It's really hard to engage them. So Capkin is going to be A tier because he's just really strong. I mean, if you get a freebie kill, I mean, and you have Nitro, like Capkin just has a lot of stuff going on for him. The exploded barrel on the UMP, is that bad? It's not necessarily bad. Nothing, there's no real bad. If you're getting kills, you're playing fine. There's no bad. If you want to rock more accuracy, you run a flash hider. If you want to be a little bit more stealthy, run the suppressor. Extended barrel, I mean, I can see someone running extended barrel just to make sure it does a little bit more damage when you're trying to like shoot like through the floor, maybe. Just a little bit extra damage. I can see it, but not personally. Legion beats here. More situational traps. Not bad. Impacts. Can't really set up the site. Decent gun. Traps are good. You can place them wherever you want, but falls the wayside a little bit compared to other trap ops. Mira, S tier. That's the reason why she's banned so much. I mean, she's just, you have a shield, you have a mirror that you can literally see them, they can't see you, and you can swing them and pre-fire. Like, so you're going to set up the site and a nitro. Mirror has way too much going on. Like, that was an incident S tier. You guys already knew that was going. Oryx. I don't remember how Oryx gun was nerfed. Does Oryx still have a 1-5? I was going to determine where I place this Oryx. Does Oryx still have a 1-5? I don't remember. Thermite. Oryx still has 1-5. Oryx S tier. Oryx is S tier. Sorry. He's S tier. You can set up the site. You can run around the map like do whatever the hell you want. You can burst through walls if you need to. I mean, Oryx is just great. You put a frag on Oryx and an alibi, and you're gonna see the enemy team slowly dwindle away. Probably. Oryx is great. You can go up hatches. I mean, not that you're gonna use that often, but it is a possibility. You have impacts. You have bailiff. I mean, you have a decent gun. Like, everything about Oryx is great. Mute A or B. Mute is S. Mute's S tier. Do you think Mute wasn't gonna be S tier? Like, maybe high A tier, maybe low S, but I mean, I'm just gonna go with my gut and go S tier. Mute does so many things. Completely negates Flores, who is a broken piece of crap if Mute isn't on the board. Flores is great. Like, imagine a Flores without a Mute every round. Imagine a Flores on attack every round without a Mute. My God. That by himself makes him strong. No, but Mute counters so much intel game, can set up the site almost like Smoke, and just great combo, and as a nitro. I mean, everything about Smoke is great. Oh, sorry, Mute. Mate show. Beats here. Can't really. Mate show actually C tier. I want to compare him to Echo, but I think that Echo is just more useful than Maestro in terms of ability. And Maestro gun, I don't know how the LMG holds up on defense anymore. Honestly, this is a little bit more of an unknown. You can try to convince me that it's B tier, but I'm definitely leaning more towards the C tier for Maestro currently. Thatcher, B or A tier? Thatcher currently S tier. Why do you think Thatcher is an S tier? Have you played Rainbow Six Siege before? Thatcher is S tier. We have to beat it into your skull that Thatcher is S tier. Thatcher is always S tier. Thatcher counters everything that they have. Everything. Like, EMP, oh yeah, EMP impacts SenVale. But what about EMP impacts? EMP impacts are tiny little baby Thatchers. And Thatcher gets 3. Your EMP impacts are only 2. And Thatchers are way bigger. Makes it much easier to get around everything. Like, there's a reason why Thatcher's still banned so often. Granted, Thatcher isn't as useful as he was before. Thatcher was always an instant high S. Now it's a soft to slow S. Like, not as strong as before because of the EMP impacts, but it's still really strong. Like, Maverick though, A tier. There's more I'm going to talk about this. There's more operators with the ability to get through the wall, like EMP impacts. There are more operators like the Lion, the Osa, the Dope. There's decent operators that can help get through walls. Maverick can do it on his own, but you are in danger and you don't have grenades anymore. Maverick does not have grenades anymore. I just think that there's more ways of getting around the wall than just having to Mav it. So that's a beat. I think Mav is still A because I don't see Mav going lower than A because there are times that you aren't going to be able to EMP impact. Let's say that they are bandit tricking. I mean, Mav counters that instantly. Like, well, bandit, what the hell are you doing? Get out of here. Mozzie is A. I agree with the beats here. Intel gathering. If you get a drone, nice. Guns are good. Not great. Good. Nitro. Everything about Mozzie is pretty solid, but I think there are better options for the roam game, like the Alibi, the Oryx, you know. Mute's just better. Yeah, Mute's trumps Mozzie's pests by a lot, but his pests, if you get a drone, are extremely useful. Could be higher than B tier potentially, depending on how you feel about Mozzie, but I think overall Mozzie is a B tier. Is a little bit more situational. Mosi, A tier, very easy. Counters the rat play. I don't want to say S because like you don't really ever need a Melusi, but it is really nice to have a Melusi to counter a lot of the rush plays that is the current meta. So I definitely think sits very safely at A. Melusi does win rounds. In my eyes, Melusi wins rounds. I've never played ranks. We've never played FPL. If we don't have a Melusi, low key, we're probably throwing. Do we need a Melusi to win? No. Rook, D tier. Rook is just dog. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Even with you joining the one with the plat that you're trying to agile, lol. Even with a Rook, if he can self revive, which isn't coming out on release of Brutal Swarm, even if Rook can self revive, I'm sorry, but Rook is still not good. Like I don't think that self revive is good. Because self revive is stronger. It's instant across the map and wherever you're at. Boom, self revive, instant up. Rook, you have to pick the bullets out of your chest and then stand up. It's not even that strong, even with the self revive. But I don't even think that's coming. So right now we're talking about OG Rook with just normal armor with impacts and an MP5. Horrible. Doc was barely C tier because he can heal. Rook can't even do that. Thermite. I don't know about Thermite on between A and S. I don't know. I am gonna go with my gut and put Thermite at the S tier because the breach is just so much better at times when you can open up the wall at a safe spot. If you can open up the wall at a safe spot, Thermite is better than A. Ace, the breaches are kind of dog. Like we all agree that Ace's walls open, like let's say clubhouse. Let's say you're attacking the outside of server. If you only have an Ace instead of a Therm, those wall breaches are a little annoying to have to play around. Sometimes you have to vault, sometimes you can't have the line of sight that you want. Thermite's big open hole, everything's clear in the open, and your attackers can work whatever you need to do. I think they're different, and both for good. They're both good. I think a lot of times most attack rounds are going to have either an Ace and a Thermite or an Ace and a Hibana, and those are that's a really strong lineup either way. I don't think either one's wrong. Depends on what you're trying to do. Thorn. D tier. Ability is just kind of meh. Guns are great. Has the shields. But nothing about Thorn is crazy good. Low-key could be lower if the guns weren't that good. If the guns were slightly worse, you'd be D tier. Only thing that saves you are your guns. Up Tetra, how you doing, baby? Twitch. I don't really need to even think about this one. I think Twitch is an S tier. If you can snipe with a drone, it's great. But honestly, you put a fragger on Twitch and they are ripping everybody's head off. Could be an A tier, could be an A tier, but I just think Twitch is an S tier. I'd say A, too easy to counterable. See, I kind of agree with you, but if you're countered, you can find a way around it. You can always find a way around, work your Twitch drone in, throw it in, and then because you can toss it in and then get on it and drive it around. And the F2, like you can't forget about the F2. The F2 is just a fragger's gun. In a straight up firefight with a defender and you have the F2 and they don't, good luck to them. That's that equal skill level, like you're winning always. And Vigil, last but not least. I don't remember if Vigil got a 1-5. I don't believe. I haven't seen much Vigil, but I'm going to place him at D tier for now. A little bit more relevant than Caveira. Impact's nice, decent gun. Definitely not going to be higher than B tier in my eyes. Because other operators can roam, but like decent people with decent intelligence when they're droning, if Vigil's using his gadget, you can kind of figure out where he probably is. So I think he sits very safely at the B tier. I don't think he should be lower or higher. Doesn't have the 1-5 yet. Okay, if Vigil has the 1-5, he goes to A tier. But right now, I think is at the B tier. Boss, you got a 1-5. That does not matter. All right, guys, this is my tier list for Operation Brutal Swarm. Remember, this yellow recruit is Grim. So last 2 seasons, you had 2 operators that are very low on the totem pole. But the season before that, you have a zombie, which is arguably probably the strongest defender currently in Rainbow Six, besides Mara. So I think that Graham honestly isn't going to influence the meta too much, but I think there are going to be some uses for Grim that maybe I'm not thinking about so far. But, you know, it is nice when you're using Grim to like clear out a corner and know that corner is probably not going to get peeked into for the next 10 seconds because they're going to get spotted like crazy, like if they do. But it is very easy to know when the bees are coming, whether to swing them aggressively, because when you're using your gadget as Grim, you can get shot in the face or you can run away. You get to choose one of the two. You either swing them aggressively or you run away. Choose one of the two. It's just really easy to deal with, and you know, there's just other operators that can do that better, like grenades or flashbangs or, you know, Nomad. So, you know, this is my list. If you guys have any disagreements or you feel one way or another about how I rated these ops, make sure to leave that down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys coming by. For those of you watching this live, love you guys. Hit up the YouTube, and yeah, make sure to drop a comment. Peace out, guys. Love you all.